So once again, this is A Way to a Wonderful Life, coming to you live from Palm Springs, California. I am Reverend Dr. Henry Lee Bates, and our Way to a Wonderful Life message for today is titled, Let It Go. Let It Go. We're going to go into a new year, and back in 2006, the wonderful Bishop T.D. Jakes gave a talk about letting things go, and he outlined some things that are happening to a lot of people. So we want to take into our mind just what do we want to take into this new year, because we know that as we turn from the things of the past and look forward to that good life, that abundant life, that joyful life, that wonderful life, that things start happening in our mind, because we don't get what we want, we get what we expect. We don't get what we want, we get what we expect. Jesus said, I have come to tell you that you may have life, and you may have it more abundantly. More abundantly. That means an abundance of health, an abundance of joy, abundance of whatever it is that's necessary for us to live a life of joy and happiness and a feeling of being alive to life. And so we know that in those words, Jesus was telling us to look forward to the good life. Expect the good life. Expect the abundant life. Expect good health. Expect to have financial prosperity and to be able to meet all your financial requirements. Expect to live in a harmonious environment where you work, in a harmonious family environment in your home, and just expect these things and know that this law of God, which is a law of good, and this love of God, which is the intelligence, the power, and the Spirit of God working always for our good, is going to bring those things to pass. But first we have to let go of the things that no longer benefit us. We got to bless the people that no longer benefit us and move forward in our lives in a greater way. T.D. Jakes wrote, there are people, or he said in his sermon, there are people who can walk away from you. And hear me when I tell you this. When people can walk away from you, let them walk. Let them walk. I don't want you to try to talk another person into staying with you, loving you, calling you, caring about you, coming to see you, staying attached to you. I mean, hang up the phone. Hang up the phone. When people can walk away from you, let them walk. Your destiny is never tied to anybody that left. Your destiny is never tied to anybody that left. The Bible said that they came out from us that it might be made manifest that they were not for us. For had they been of us, no doubt they would have continued with us. So when people can walk away from you, let them walk. Your destiny is never tied to anybody that left. People leave you because they are not joined to you. And if they are not joined to you, you cannot make them stay. So let them go. And let them go. It doesn't mean that they are a bad person. It just means that their part in the story is over, and you've got to know when people's part in your story is over so that you don't keep trying to raise the dead. You've got to know when it's dead. You know, so many people talk about the past and talk about the people that they feel ashamed them or they blame other people or all these things. It's like they're beating a dead horse. When the dead horse is dead, get off. When the horse is dead, get off. That's just terrible. That's what some people do in their lives. They just keep repeating the same old thing over and over again. And as the great Emerson said, if we repeat the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's the definition of insanity. We're not going to get anything but the same. Let's go back to T.D. Jakes. He says, you've got to know when it's over. Let me tell you something. I've got the gift of goodbye. It's the 10th spiritual gift. I believe in goodbye. It's not that I'm hateful, it's that I'm faithful, and I know whatever God means for me to have, He'll give it to me. And if it takes too much sweat, I don't need it. So stop begging people to stay, let them go. You've got to know when it's over. Let me tell you something. This is T.D. Jakes. I've got the gift of goodbye. It's the 10th spiritual gift. I believe in goodbye. It's not that I'm hateful. It's that I'm faithful, and I know whatever God means for me to have, He'll give it to me. And if it takes too much sweat, I don't need it. So stop begging people to stay. Let them go. If you are holding on to something that doesn't belong to you and was never intended for your life, then you need to let it go. If you are holding on to past hurts and pains, let it go. If someone can't treat you right, love you back, and see your worth, let them go. If someone has angered you, let it go. If you are holding on to some thoughts of evil and revenge, let it go. If you are involved in a wrong relationship or addiction, let it go. If you keep judging others to make yourself better, let it go. If you are struggling with the healing of a broken relationship, let it go. If you keep trying to help someone who won't even try to help themselves, let it go. Let the past be the past. Forget the former things. Let the past be the past and forget the former things. Let's don't go into this new year bringing all the noise and the nonsense from the past into our new year. This is going to be 2015. January 1st, we start a new slate. We start a blank screen of life. So when we think about our life is like a movie because we're moving in our life. We're always moving, we're always doing, we're always thinking, we're always being. So we got to think about what do I want to project on that screen of life about who I am and what I'm about. What do I want to project on that screen? Do I want to bring on the old stuff? Do I want to bring on the old relationships that didn't work? Bring on the old jobs that are no longer mine? Bring on the past hurts and pains that do nothing but diminish not only my emotional and mental abilities, but diminish my physical health as well? Do I want to let go of that just feeling like there's nothing to be happy about? Let it go. Let it go. Jesus said, I have come to tell you. Jesus is telling us this. I have come to tell you, that's you and me, that you may have life and you may have it abundantly. But you got to let go of the former things. You got to let go of all the noise and the nonsense of the past, all that drama, and open your mind to the new. Open your mind to the greater. Open your mind to a greater, not only experience of life, but a greater image and likeness of yourself. We are created in God's very own image and likeness. We are spirit, we're life, we're truth. The truth of us is we're alive. We're part of life. God is life. God is love. We're a part of love. We're part of happiness and joy and peace and contentment and abundance. We're part of all that. So let's don't let the world diminish that truth in our mind. Let's don't let the world take away that which God has given us. Let's don't let the world give us an illusion that somehow we're inferior, that somehow we're less than that image, likeness of God that we've been created in. Let's awaken that within us that believes in the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and know that I am a part of God. God so loved the world that God incarnated a part of its own spirit, its own intelligence, its own power within each and every one of us. That we are that image of that likeness. And as Jesus said, let your light so shine. In other words, let that vitality, that vibrancy, that radiance of your soul come forth through you in all that you do and all that you're being as you do it. And start feeling the goodness of it. Start feeling the joy of it. Start feeling the happiness of it. So let go of the past. Forget the former things. Dr. Joseph Murphy, in his wonderful book, Think Yourself Rich, said, no matter what has happened in the past, you can change it now. Fill your subconscious with life-giving patterns of thought, and you will erase and crowd out everything unlike God, unlike the good. So whatever we desire to receive from the great unseen, from our Creator, from God, from Infinite Spirit, we must know what it is and be as specific as possible. We must direct our thoughts to focus on the specific good that we want to experience. What is it we want to experience? Most people want to experience peace of mind. If we are are able to pay all of our bills, we have peace of mind. If we get along with all the people we work with, we have peace of mind. If we have enough money in the bank that we can plan vacations and plan to buy a new car or a new home or some rental property, whatever it may be, or some stocks and bonds, we have peace of mind. If we feel alive and loved in our relationships, whether we're married, whether it's with our husband or our wife or whoever it may be, our family, then we are alive. So we want to take ourselves back to the realization that we came into this world not born in sin, but born into a world that's confused about that image likeness that resides within each and every one of us, that spirit within us. And we can read in the scriptures, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. But if we don't let go of the past, if we don't let go of the former things that no longer bring us joy, then we're going to block that Christ within us from coming forward in our level of awareness that we can understand and be guided and directed to that greater good. We must let go of all the hurt, all the little disappointments, all the little rejections. And we got to let go of the people that left. Let them go. Let them go. If they were meant to stay, they would have stayed. But they weren't meant to stay because they're gone. We don't deny the facts. We don't deny the facts. We just keep knowing the truth, knowing the truth. And as we know the truth, we know that when that which is perfect comes, that which is imperfect comes to an end. And sometimes that imperfect is our relationships of the past. It's the people and things that no longer serve us. It may even be a job that no longer gives us the compensation, no longer gives us the opportunities to live that abundant life. Remember, I have come to tell you, Jesus said, let's take it into our mind every day. I may have life and I may have it more abundantly, but I have to expect it. I have to expect it. I have to believe that that's the truth. I have to believe that Jesus was giving us a universal, immutable, changeless principle. And when we accept it in our mind as the truth and we cultivate and foster it and nurture it in our mind as the truth for us personally, then we shall find ourselves living more of the good life, the abundant life, and the wonderful life. I have come to tell you, that's you and me, that you may have life and you may have it more abundantly, but we must forget the former things. Let's go back to those words of the great Bishop T.D. Jakes, and let's think about how many of these apply to us. He said, there are people who can walk away from you. And hear me when I tell you this. When people can walk away from you, let them walk. I don't want you to try to talk another person into staying with you, talk another person into loving you, talk another person into calling you, talk another person into caring about you or coming to see you or staying attached to you. I mean, hang up the phone. And don't text them either. Don't text them and don't send them email. Let them go. When people can walk away from you, let them walk. Your destiny is never tied to anybody that left. Never tied to anybody that left. The Bible said that. They came out from us that it might be made manifest that they were not for us. For had they been of us, no doubt they would have continued with us. That's from 1 John 2:19. People leave you because they are not joined to you. And if they are not joined to you, you can't make them stay. Let them go. And it doesn't mean that they are a bad person. It just means that their part in the story is over. And you've got to know when people's part in your story is over so that you don't keep trying to raise the dead. You've got to know when it's dead. You've got to know when it's over. Let me tell you something. I've got the gift of goodbye. It's the 10th spiritual gift. I believe in goodbye. It's not that I'm hateful, it's that I'm faithful. And I know whatever God means for me to have, He'll give it to me. And if it takes too much sweat, I don't need it. So stop begging people to stay. Let them go. If you are holding on to something that doesn't belong to you and was never intended for your life, then you need to let it go. If you are holding on to past hurts and pains, let it go. If someone can't treat you right, love you back, and see your worth, let them go. If someone has angered you, let that anger go. If you are holding on to some thoughts of evil and revenge, let it go. You're the one that it will hurt. The revenge will be on yourself. The evil will visit on your own mind, your heart, and your soul. If you are involved in a wrong relationship or addiction, let it go. Do everything you can to let it go as quickly as possible. If you keep judging others to make yourself feel better, let it go. Get over yourself. Go look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am that image, likeness of God. I am beginning today, right now, this moment, to see myself as God sees me, as perfect spirit having a human experience, as a joyous spirit, someone who's a part of life in a big way, important to the balance of the universe in which we live. So if you want to keep judging others to make yourself feel better, it's only our own image and likeness that we're diminishing, so let it go. If you are struggling with the healing of a broken relationship, let it go. It's broken. If you keep trying to help someone who won't even try to help themselves, let them go. Let them go. Everyone has the same abilities and capabilities that each and every one of us have. Let's just know that the law of cause and effect is a mental law as well as a physical law. It is just as spiritual as it is material. It works the same everywhere and for everyone in the same way. But the law of cause and effect is not a curse. It is for our good. The mastermind Jesus taught that the grace of God relieves us of karmic debt. The great unity minister, Eric Butterworth, stated there is no law of retribution in God. God never stops loving us, but we stop loving ourselves. No matter what the causes of the karmic debt, the effects can be dissolved by knowing the truth, by raising our consciousness above the level of sin. And what is sin? It's self-inflicted nonsense. Sin is self-inflicted nonsense. Don't let anybody confuse you. It's self-inflicted nonsense. We weren't born in sin. We were born into a world filled with self-inflicted nonsense, and we can all agree to that. And so we learn that as we understand that God is love and God is law, we know that the grace of God is a more powerful cause than anything unlike it. But in order to benefit from this grace, we must embody the truth that God is law and God is all. God is love. And even though we have repeated this over and over and over again in our mind, we must be still and know that I am God every day. Every day we must do it. It is the most important thing that we will ever do, and it is the thing that will cause us to let go of all those former things that no longer serve us, Each and every one of us can find ourselves having just the most joyous life if we let it. Recently I was talking to someone who I have been communicating with for quite some time. His life was in shambles again. Debt, unpaid taxes, ill health, anxiety, and more were consuming his life and his thoughts. And these were conditions that he has been experiencing for years. Just the appearances have been different. But I have been suggesting to him that he include a daily practice of sitting in the silence and thinking only of God and the good. And as he has done numerous times in the past, he immediately gave me a list of reasons why he couldn't do this. There were just too many distractions. And so I asked him, do you brush your teeth every day? Do you brush your teeth every day? And he replied and said he did. And then I asked him, why do you brush your teeth every day? Why do you brush your teeth every day? And he replied, because it is important. And I said, so what you are telling me is that brushing your teeth is more important than your relationship with God, with your relationship with your good and your Creator who creates your good, which he immediately denied. Now, this little exercise wasn't about making anybody wrong, but about explaining that what we often see as important are merely effects, not cause. And I further explained that sitting in the silence of our mind getting still. As Jesus said, close the door, close the closet door, go into the closet and close the door. He was telling us, go into within your mind. Close out all the noise and the nonsense of the world. Be still and know that God is responding to you. Be still and know that God is with you. Be still and know that God will guide you. Be still and know that God has your solution to every problem. Be still and know that God loves you with an everlasting, unconditional love. And know that as you sit in that silence, in the stillness of your mind, God's Holy Spirit will infuse your heart, your mind, and your soul with a radiance and a vibration that's greater than anything else you could do in the world. So as I further explain, that sitting in the silence does not require any more time than brushing our teeth. But we don't do it. We don't do it. As long as we believe that it is unimportant, we will not do it. So each and every one of us can find ourselves with everything necessary. It doesn't cost any money to sit in the silence. You don't have to buy a ticket. You don't have to stand in line. You don't have to go buy a new dress or a new suit. You just sit in the silence and let the mind, the spirit, the intelligence, and the power of God that created each and every one of us, that incarnated within us, that something that responds to our every thought. Jesus said, Father, I know that you heareth me always. And what is the Father? Jesus said the Father is spirit, not a spirit, but spirit, omnipresent, everywhere present, omnipotent, all power, omniscient, all-knowing intelligence. So as we let ourselves sit in the stillness of our mind and consciously direct our inner ear towards the infinite, towards the unseen, then we shall find ourselves realizing, just as Job did, that the Spirit of God hath made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. And this life is in the Spirit. And we cannot experience the grace of God unless we open our mind to God in the silence. The Spirit of God is a law of elimination and obliteration of everything unlike itself. In other words, God is enough. God is enough. So let everything else go. Let all things that are not of the good, all things that we would call evil that just lives spelled backwards, anything that diminishes our livingness, our givingness, our forgivingness, our joy of life, let it go. Let it go. And so it is. Amen. Once again, I want to